What is happening, guys? Gabe Villamizar coming at you at Assembled 17. Thank you so much for joining me. This has been so far a super sick event, and I'm excited for the speakers that are after me in the upcoming days. Again, thank you to Chris Cannon and everybody, all the sponsors, everybody that has put this event together. It's been, like I said, amazing so far. Now, as I go along with my presentation, if you like, I highly encourage you to use the hashtag Assembled17 if you want to tag me or mention me at Gabe Villamizar. I'm super passionate about this topic that I'm about to cover today about how to build your personal brand, just personal branding 101. Before I jump into it, I kind of want to tell you about my story of how I got to where I am right now. So I graduated from UVU, Utah Valley University, in 2013, and I jumped into the SaaS, software as a service space into a company called InsideSales.com. I was a setter, BDR, SDR, setting appointments to the other salespeople, aka closers, and I realized that we were not using social media in the sales process, which came very natural to me. In a way, I was connecting the dots from marketing, sales, and social media in order to set more appointments, in order to identify my buyers, in order to just do things that were not currently being done back in 2013. So long story short, I was able to really create a process or embed social media into the sales process. They pulled me from marketing, they pulled me from sales into the marketing department, and then I started coaching and training all the sales reps at InsideSales.com. Long story short, again, I started consulting Domo, Qualtrics, and Structure. Then after being at InsideSales.com for a little over a year, I moved on to HireVue as the director of social selling, where I also trained and coached on social selling and did some marketing. And very recently, I joined Lucid Software, makers of Lucidchart, as the head of B2B marketing. And my experience with personal branding has been huge. I mean, last year I spoke at Dreamforce, one of the largest software conferences put together by Salesforce. 2 years ago, I spoke at the LinkedIn conference, LinkedIn Sales Connect. I can say that I'm doing a few things right because, last year again, if you combine all the webinars and events that I spoke at, about 15 of them total, I traveled a lot, and I'm not doing anything that is just super crazy rocket science. So I'm excited to show you from personal experience what I've done and how I got to where I am right now. Now, before I jump into the topic, I want to also cover about digital transformation. And we talk about digital transformation is happening everywhere around us. For example, marketing is digitizing the way they do their process, the way they do their analytics, the way they've done their strategies and tactics. And then customer support is also digitizing or transforming the way they do business. Same with sales, here and there. But the topic of personal branding and how to digitize your personal brand is not spoken that much. So we need to accept and realize that the digital transformation time era is right now in full effect. And those who capitalize, those who ride the wave of digital transformation in regards to their personal brand are going to have a huge advantage over those who are over the laggards or the people that only put effort into it when they want to actually do something. So my point being is that it really comes down to that you are who Google, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook say you are. Because everything's going digital, right? We search for everything. Everything's searchable, believe it or not, on Google, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on Facebook. And if you're a buyer, right? And I don't care if you're in sales, if you're a designer, if you're in UX and UI and marketing and sales, when was the last time you searched for yourself on Google? Right? If you want to go ahead and do that right now, open a new incognito window in Chrome. If you're using Internet Explorer or Firefox, you can pause this presentation because we cannot be friends if you're using any other browser than Chrome. But do an incognito window, search for your first and last name, and if you're not coming up in the search in the front page of the Google search results engine, then there's definitely work you can do, and it's not that hard to rank your name in a matter of a few months if you really have a normal name. I mean, if you have a Mike Jones or Stephen Jones, that's going to take a little bit more time, but we need to really put an emphasis, specifically in 2017, as to if you really want to own your brand, to get more business, to get more VC funding, to get more freelance work, to get recruited more, to increase your credibility. You need to take your personal brand in a serious manner. It shouldn't be a want, it should be a need to survive, just like breathing air. Again, you are whom Google, LinkedIn, and Twitter and Facebook say you are. Once this clicks, you really understand, then this is going to become actually something cool that you want to do. It's going to become a need, and it's going to become pretty pleasant. So let's get to it. The 4 P's of personal branding. Now, these P's are something that I came up with, and I've heard things, other acronyms and other, processes of personal branding. Again, I'm speaking from experience here as to what has worked for me over the past 4 years. Specifically in B2B software, that's where my experience and my expertise lies in. And yeah, let's get to it. So number 1, purpose. Now, let's talk about purpose and what does purpose actually really mean. And looking at the definition of purpose, the reason for which something exists or is done. Okay, and a good question to ask is, why do you get out of bed each morning? What is it that ticks you? What is it that motivates you? What is your reason? Without getting all philosophical here, what is your reason of your existence? This is a really basic question that you should have the answer to, in a few minutes, if not immediately, as soon as someone asks you this question, or as soon as you ask yourself this question. Once you understand this, right, you'll be able to create a foundation of your personal brand. And then, right, you'll be able to take that brand and digitize it and take it online. So again, P, purpose. You need to know your purpose. You need to know what motivates you. And the next P is going to be passion. Now, don't get confused with the difference between passion and purpose. So like passion could be, your hobbies, your interests, your talents, right? And for example, my purpose, right, is to teach, coach, and train people of the world, everybody, on how they can use social media marketing and sales to accelerate or to achieve a desired outcome. Now, as you can see here, my passion, right, the way I do that, the way I achieve my purpose is by actually doing events like this. It's by actually doing webinars. It's by coaching one-on-one, by coaching groups. So then, as you can see here, my passion then becomes my vehicle to achieve my purpose. Again, passion and purpose, very crucial things in order to develop a personal brand. A good question that I like when it comes about passion is, what makes you come alive? What is it, right? For me, I knew that I love teaching, I love coaching, I love training, and I knew that my dad is a math professor at BYU, so I have his example to follow as to how to become a professor and how to teach in effective ways, and hopefully I'm doing so, and I have done so. So again, passion and purpose. Again, you have to find these things out. A good place to start is just by being self-aware. Maybe asking your closest friends and family members and say, hey, what am I good at? What can you see and tell me straight up? Don't BS me. What am I good at? What have you seen that motivates me the most? If you if there really are your true friends, and obviously your family, I'm sure they love you, they will give you straight up, honest, no BS answers. And then that way you want to align your passion and your purpose. Now, before I move on to the next P, I want to say that, I was passionate about basketball, but I realized that I was short, okay? I hear this a lot. It's like you have to follow your passion. If you're really, really good at something such as your passion, then you can monetize it and make money no matter what. Again, I was, and I still am, I'm super passionate about basketball. I'm super passionate about boating, even though I don't have a boat. I'm super passionate. You can be super passionate about, planting trees. And again, but I live, in Alaska or wherever there's a crap ton of snow. Maybe, okay, that was a horrible example. My point is that your passion, right, you need to be careful and not to confuse it with your purpose. And be self-aware of who you are and what you're good at. But again, that statement of like you have to follow your passion and no matter what, okay, don't confuse your passion with your purpose. Anyway, moving on here. The third P is prioritize. So you need to come up with a plan. how are you going to align your passion and your purpose? And then what are you going to do to achieve, certain milestones that you set for yourself? Good question to ask on a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly basis is, what's the most important thing you can do today, right now? And by asking yourself this question, then you can eliminate things that can wait or things that are not a need exactly. And there's a lot of studies and process of how can you prioritize your day. And I don't want to get too much into it. Again, I just like this specific question. Once you're doing something, right? Let's say you start searching on Facebook, or you're on Twitter or on Google. Next thing you know, it's been an hour, and before you hit another hour wasting your time on social media, you need to really pause what you're doing and think about it and say, is this the best thing I could be doing right now to achieve the outcomes or the milestones that I've set for my purpose and my passion? If the answer is no, then obviously stop, rethink, re-strategize, and get back on track. And last but not least, the fourth P is patience. And in a world right now where everything's me, and we go through the drive-through, we cannot wait in the drive-through more than 5 minutes, otherwise we're pissed off and we write a crappy review. We download an app, we want the app to be downloadable in like 20 seconds, or otherwise we just get very impatient. Or what's another one? When the Wi-Fi is super slow, right? We get mad, we get frustrated, and say the Wi-Fi sucks, right? We live in a society right now, and obviously all of you know this, I'm just trying to prove a point here, that we want success and instant gratification right now. And in regards to personal branding, what I like to say is that personal branding isn't just a sprint, it's a marathon. Okay, don't expect that your personal brand's gonna come together in a month or two, and then you're gonna really get tons of business, or you're gonna be ranking for certain keywords, or you're gonna be the shiz, or everyone's gonna love you. I've been working at my personal brand since I was like a sophomore in high school. Sophomore in college. And I had a huge advantage over my peers that when everybody was graduating, right, when we're all seniors, everybody started taking LinkedIn very seriously to find jobs, right? Well, in reality, I had already been working on my LinkedIn 2 years before all my peers, right, start working on it. So I had a huge advantage versus my colleagues and my peers, and it's been a huge blessing. It's been a big opportunity, and you have to work on it every single day. Again, you want to have a foundation, and to recap what that foundation is, you need to know what your purpose is. You need to find out what your passion. You need to find out what you're good at and align it to achieve your purpose. Then you need to come up with a plan, right? And you need to prioritize that plan, more important than everything. And then you need to be patient. Know that success is not going to happen overnight. You need to know that it is going to take a lot of hard work. It is going to take a lot of nights where you cry yourself to sleep. It is going to be very lonely sometimes. It is going to be hard, and you might fall and scratch yourself. But know that at the end of the day, the sun will rise, right? And you will achieve success if you align these P's, if you go for it, and you begin with an end in mind. Now, for the rest of this presentation, I want to do a screen share, and I actually want to show you how to optimize your Twitter and your LinkedIn profile, because these two websites have high domain authority, or DA, or high page rank. So I found that there's a lot of secret sauce in social SEO. If you set up your profiles the right way, then you can rank really, really high. So let me give you an example. So I get asked quite a bit on a weekly basis of people reaching out to me via LinkedIn or Twitter, like, hey Gabe, I want to pick your brain, or hey Gabe, I want to jump on a call with you, or I want to take you out for lunch. And sometimes I ignore some people. I can't get to everything because I have a full-time job at Lucid Software, and sometimes I actually have some downtime, and I talk to some people that I've never met, but they somehow find out about me. One time, somebody for my first international speaking gig last year, I in Mexico, actually, the guy from Mexico called me. We get on a call, and at the end of the conversation, I'm like, hey man, how did you find me? How did you come to know about me? This is great. I mean, I've never spoken outside the US. And he's like, oh, I just Googled social selling, where I went on LinkedIn and typed social selling and your profile came up. I mean, what are the chances, right? And here in my mind, I'm like, oh, wow, this actually works. This is great. Another example is somebody went on Google and searched marketing advisor. And my LinkedIn profile was on the front page of those results, search engine results. Crazy, right? I never would have thought that. And the examples are countless. My point being is I'm going to show you how the tips, tricks, and hacks on how to optimize your profiles in order so you can rank really high for certain keywords that you want to rank for. And this is going to be huge, again, not just if you're trying to sell something, but it's huge for increased credibility. It's huge to get more clients. It's huge, if you want a new job. It's huge just for your career overall. So let's get to it. And here we go. Let's start with your Twitter profile. Now, if you don't have a Twitter profile, I highly recommend you do this and create your Twitter profile. That you might fit in that category. Some of you may have a Twitter profile, and you definitely have forgotten your password because you haven't logged into Twitter since Twitter started and opened it, and you never did anything with it. Or you might be in the third category of you have Twitter, you know your password, but you haven't done much with it. Now, before we begin and into some optimization tips, you can either write these down or rewatch this video, or you can actually do them as I tell you. Some of them you can do them right away. Some of them might require some time and work, but they're all easy to do. And if you want these, a bullet point or a checklist, you can email me at gabevillamizar@gmail.com or hit me on Twitter at GabeVillamizar or on LinkedIn and say, hey Gabe, can you please send me the Twitter optimization checklist or the LinkedIn optimization checklist? Now, one thing that you always have to keep in mind is that your Twitter profile or your LinkedIn profile are not really just your online resumes or your online, landing pages. They really are becoming and will become your online reputation and who you say you are, the content you post, what you say, and the credibility triggers that viewers will get as they scroll through LinkedIn and Twitter. Profiles are huge and will make or break into what you want to achieve in 2017. It really will separate the great from the bad or the good from the great. So let's get to it. Number one optimization tip is your LinkedIn banner right here. Our main product is called Lucid Chart, but our company is called Lucid Software, and our motto or one of the slogans is think visually. So I have this exact same, and you'll see this when I do this, the LinkedIn profile optimization. I have the exact same image here, so that way the branding's consistent, it portrays the same message, and it has the same look and feel. So create one and upload it, and you should be good there. So that's number one. Number two, make sure that your image is up to date and it actually looks like yourself. You don't want it to be like super far away, or you don't want it to be, again, outdated or the wrong size. Again, this is me. I always wear a hat. It just happened to be that way. And then someone's like, dude, you're always the dude wearing the backwards hat. So then I'm like, hey, you know what? You're right. So I kind of stuck with that, and that's sort of my branding, I guess. Again, so I have a hero banner. I have my profile image that clearly shows people who I am. Let me pause this video here. The next thing is your display name. So my full name is Gabriel Villamizar, but when I tell people who I am, right, whether it's online or in real life, I just say I'm Gabe Villamizar. Now, if I was telling people, and I actually did when I didn't know about this SEO stuff or just branding, I was telling people that my name is Gabriel Villamizar, right? It's like, hey, yeah, let's connect on LinkedIn, or hey, yeah, find me on Twitter. And people were not able to find me because I was not optimized, or I was not communicating to Google that I am Gabe Villamizar. So that was kind of a big eye opener. Have the same consistent first name and last name on all your social media profiles, and the same goes to your handle, right? My handle here is Gabe Villamizar. One time I was coaching somebody at InsideSales.com, and their Twitter handle before they went through my coaching and training was like Nimrod69. I'm like, dude, are you freaking kidding me, bro? We can't be friends. But my point being is that you want this also, your handle, whether it's, you know, whichever social media profile, to be your first name and last name. If that's taken, try switching it last name, first name, or maybe throw your middle initial or middle name in there. And next thing is your Twitter bio right here. Obviously, there's a certain limit of characters you can put in here, but I like to put a certain keywords that I want to rank for. So I want to rank for B2B marketing or social selling or social media. So to give you an example, I said head of B2B marketing at Lucidchart. As you can see here, I tagged at Lucidchart. So that's also searchable, and that's also giving more SEO credibility and juice to Lucidchart. Let me go back here. Head of B2B marketing at Lucidchart, social selling, and social media coach. Previously at HireView, Inside Sales, and Southwest Airlines. Startup advisor, speaker, and author. Nice and short, concise, to the point. Tag a few companies. You can even add a few hashtags. Don't make it all about hashtags because it then becomes kind of distracting. Just keep it nice and short. Tag a few people, tag a few companies, 1 or 2 hashtags, you're good to go. The next thing is you want to optimize for the biggest or nearest city that you are where you're currently residing. So just to give you an idea, I live in Provo, Utah, Provo/Orem, Utah, which is about 40 minutes from Salt Lake City, Utah. Now, if I were to put I am in Orem, Utah, people would be like, "What the freak are you talking about, dude? Where do you live? Like in Yugoslavia or something?" So I tie myself to Salt Lake City, Utah. Everybody knows Salt Lake. It's by far more well known than Orem, Utah. I think you get my point here. The next thing is you want to do a backlink to or hyperlink to your LinkedIn profile. And this LinkedIn profile, as you can see here, is linkedin.com/in/Gabe Villamizar. And when I get to optimizing your LinkedIn profile, I'll show you how to customize your vanity URL or your personal URL, because by default, it's not going to be your first and last name. So you want to make sure that this is either your personal website, your company website, or your LinkedIn profile URL. I joined in 2010, my birthday, and things like that. So that's it, and that's all, guys, for Twitter. Nice and short. Again, let's recap. The banner at top, my profile image, display name, then it's my Twitter handle, bio, and a few items of contact info. Cool. That's it for Twitter. I know I'm just cramming a lot of information here, but let's go and jump to LinkedIn. Again, on LinkedIn, it's going to be pretty similar. You can see here is the Lucid Software Think Visually banner or hero image. Then here is my profile image. Now, something I recommend is that when you upload these images, you save the image as your first and last name, so that when you upload it, it also adds SEO value, okay? Just don't save the image with some like 00_ image for LinkedIn, right? Again, it all compounds, and it will add more SEO and credibility and things of that nature. As you can see here, first and last name, a similar strategy here. I want a nice, short, and concise. My title, by default, your display title or your display headline on LinkedIn will become your last position. So let's say you're currently at a company and you're the lead UX designer. That will become your display title. Like, don't let that happen. The Google crawler crawls from left to right, top to bottom, and whichever keywords it can pick up, that's the more SEO juice you will get. And not just that, for SEO purposes. Let's say you a recruiter is checking you out, or let's say someone wants to see how legit you are, and you're just communicating who you are, right? Tell them the why and the how, right? So I'm telling people here that I'm a coach, that I'm into social selling, and I'm into social media, instead of just telling people I'm the head of B2B marketing and that's it. Okay, so put some thought into this, put some strategy, and insert keywords and things of that nature. Again, greater Salt Lake City area, computer software, and then moving on here, you want to make sure your contact info is as complete as possible. I put the Lucid Software headquarters, my personal email, my phone number, the Twitter accounts that I manage, my WeChat, even though WeChat is huge in Asia, and the website that I want to rank for. Again, I would say 85% of LinkedIn users don't fill this out, and it's huge of SEO value. And I mean, think how powerful this is if not only you, but let's say everybody at your company fills this out, right? A lot of SEO, a lot of hyperlinking and backlinking is going to happen, and it's going to be a win-win for everybody. Now, I know I told you I was going to show you how to optimize or change your LinkedIn's profile URL. Well, as you can see here, let me show you one more time. I click on this little icon right here where it says the LinkedIn icon. You click on the gear icon, and it's going to shoot you over here on the right hand side. You're going to be able to click on the pen and then customize this. Now, if your first and last name is taken, then it's going to let you know. And then that's where you're going to have to either go, last name, first name, last name, etc. Moving on here, I know I'm running out of time, but you want to make sure you add a summary. Again, focus on keywords. I would just say, what are the top 10 keywords that you want to rank for? And in a strategic, non-spammy way or non-keyword stuffing, include those through your work experience, include those through your summary, your skills. Add some rich media types, right? Rich media types allow you to add videos, slide shares, slides, images, PDFs to your LinkedIn profile to increase your credibility. So as someone scrolls through my LinkedIn profile, I just don't want this to communicate who I am like my resume. Resumes are freaking boring, right? You want to be able to see, oh wow, image. This is more attractive to the eye, right? It draws their attention. Oh, Gabe's summary. This is what Gabe is good at. Great. Moving on down. Oh wow, skills and endorsements. Holy crap, Gabe has 99 plus endorsements for lead generation, marketing strategy, sales, social selling, right? Some people put in here that they're good at PowerPoint and they're good at Microsoft Word. That's like saying that you're really good at drinking water. Literally, like delete those skills, replace those skills and put relevant things that are actually going to increase your credibility, that are actually going to give you some benefits, right, to your purpose and your passion. Again, tie it all to your person, I'm Persian now. Tie it all to your purpose and your passion. Prioritize and be patient. So skills and endorsements are huge. At least add 10, and at least add your 3 latest, jobs or employers that you worked with. So as you can see here, Lucid Software. I'm also at an advisor at Nova. I'm also an advisor at Exvoyant, 2 SaaS, super killer startups, by the way. You should check them out. Director of social selling, on and on. So that's it, guys. I know I just crammed through a lot of information. Honestly, what I want to get you, what I want you to get out of this is those 4 P's. What is your purpose in life in terms of your personal brand? What are you really good at that you can tie to your purpose? How are you going to prioritize your plan of how you're going to get there? And then how are you going to be patient and not give up as soon as you start doing this? Now that, right, and I just kind of wanted to give you a glimpse of what it looked like to kind of tweak your profile, to tweak your personal brand online, so that way you bleed credibility and you scream credibility without having to do the yelling every single day. Because once you have the foundation and once you have the platform, right, your digitized brand will do the work for you, and it's awesome. It's beautiful. And anyway, I could talk a whole nother hour, a few other hours about this, but I'll let you go. Thank you so much for being here. Again, hit me up on LinkedIn or Twitter if you have any more questions. I'm here for you. I love talking to people, and give me your feedback. If you liked what you heard right now, let's connect. Take care. Much love, and I'm out. Peace.